Welcome to Wrestling is Hard, where every side is the dark side of the ring. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Email us questions and complaints at wrestlingishard@gmail.com. I'm Jim. Brandon, hi.
Hello.
Brandon, you didn't join us for the event this weekend. What happened? You have something going on? What's up?
Yeah, I was stuck out in the burbs for the weekend, Bartow, Pennsylvania. So we were hosting. There was a graduation party for one of Sydney's cousins that went longer than expected. And then I looked at my phone and I had a long text message to the group chats explaining that I wasn't going, and then I just was sitting there without the send button. So I apologize. It's pretty rude to just no call, no show like that, but that's what happened.
Apologize to Chris, not me. I didn't notice. Chris, do you accept the apology?
My internet's not working. Some lunatic with a 4x4 ripped the cable out driving across the back of my
Yes.
Driving across the back of my dunes.
You want to hear that story? Listen to last week's episode.
Why is he apologizing? I don't give a shit. Just remember, if nobody came, I wouldn't invite you anyway. So always remember that. If it was just you and I, you wouldn't have been invited.
Yes. Chris, you're back from vacation. Let's hear some stories. You rip up any dunes?
Nah, no dunes ripping. I walked through some dunes, but no dunes ripping. No, had a good time. Drove down to Charleston, South Carolina for a few days. Ate some food. Looked at some kind of weird racist people. A lot of 60-year-old dudes drunk, trying to look not drunk at 11 a.m. You know, that assholes puckered tight because they're like trying to walk in a straight line. You know, we left. What did we leave? We left Monday, and we did it all in one day. It was got a little antsy in the last couple hours.
Yeah, it does that.
But I drove probably it took us about 12, 13 hours. We had to get a little bit of a detour because there was traffic on 95, and we drove down, through Delmarva, so Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia, and the peninsula, and that is like 5 hours long, and it's the easiest drive ever. And then you get to the other side in the Virginia Beach, and you start getting on 95, and it's just like, oh, this sucks. But so, and when we got taken on 95, we drove through like rural South Carolina. I don't know if I think it was South Carolina at this point. And it's everything you'd think it'd be. A lot of
some examples. Let's hear. To our listeners in South Carolina, we're talking about you. Good.
Very shacky, a lot of war, like it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Just very rural. And then you come up on a house, and the house is like barely alive. It's barely together, and broken down cars in the front and stuff like that. I mean, it was really like what you'd expect to see. But Charleston was fun. A lot of really good food. Shout out to Leon's in Charleston. We went there twice. Fucking place was fantastic. And
was that the Oyster Shack?
Yeah, that's the oyster place. It's like a converted service station. And a friend of mine had recommended it, so we went there. We went there for lunch our first day there, and then we went for dinner. I was like, we're going back for dinner because I didn't eat enough of this shit. So we went back. All the men down there seemed to be a little glazed. They have a bit of a glaze to them. Their eyes are a little glazed. They're very like, hey, how you doing? And I run into people, I guess, at work sometimes, bartending, and I'm always like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Oh, well, he's probably from North or South Carolina.
It's cirrhosis.
Mm-hmm.
It's cirrhosis.
Yeah, it's cirrhosis kicking in. So, and a lot of, like I said, monuments to men who defended the Confederacy.
God.
Very fucking strange. You don't think all right, so when we went through that whole, they were tearing down, one of the statues torn down. And I told people, I said, I don't even want to get into that, but I was just like, it's just like, oh yeah, I guess they're doing this thing. And until you see it like in person and you're like, yeah, this really exists. This isn't just something happening on my TV right now. I mean, this shit is fucking real. Like you could see Fort Sumter, and then there's a monument to the people that laid fucking siege to it and killed, and your state is part of that country that you were trying to eliminate.
Things were better back then, Chris. You don't understand.
Fucking weird, man. It's fucking. So So yeah, and then we came home and one more. I think I woke up on the last day, and when we were driving out, I believe it was. Could have been the day before that, but one of the last days we were getting ready to leave, and I woke up and I look at my phone, and we're one step closer to the collapse of American society as we know it. So it was
Good
a
times.
wonderful time to go on vacation.
Good times.
Yeah, but we had a good time. Ate a lot. Lot of well, I don't drink, but there's plenty of places to go drinking. Apparently, it is the wedding and bachelorette capital of the United States of America. So
Really?
there's a lot. Yeah.
Not
So
Nashville?
no,
Used to be
this is
Nashville.
what I was told when I was down there. Maybe it is Nashville now,
You're
but
like, we're the number one this. We're the number one that. We're the best city. They're telling you
my-
everything.
my
Those
friends
boys like to dispute
friend.
history down there. So
Yeah.
exactly.
We
one of the-
won.
So we woke up one morning. I go on my phone, and I'm just like, I start Googling things to do because I don't know what the fuck to do. I mean, when are you going to go to the beach, sit there and stare? So I'm like, yeah, we're going to do that, but let's do something else. And it comes up this article about like, if you're from the Northeast, these are things that you should understand about when you go down south to a place like Charleston.
Don't get a cheesesteak.
Don't get a cheesesteak that has green peppers and mushrooms on it. No, and one of them had stood out to me because it happened to us later on that day. And I laughed because a woman walked past us. We were walking on the beach. And she said, "Oh, I really like your tattoos." And my wife and I were both like, "Oh, thank you very much." Whereas if we were here in Philadelphia and somebody said they really would like your tattoos, you'd have to ignore them because after that sentence is the ask. I really like your tattoos. Can you give me some money? That's usually how that goes down here.
Or they decide they want to handle your tattoos.
Yeah, or they want to pet them.
Which happens to a lot of women.
Very strange.
A lot of arm petting.
Yeah. So, but if there was something going on down there that we were going to, I would go again. But there are other places to go. So
you'll never go again?
No, I didn't say that. I liked it, but it's not. It's you sometimes you go places and you go, I want to go back there. That I went to, and I went, I could go back there, but you'd have to get me there. I'd be excited to go, but there'd have to be a reason other than just going on vacation.
Right.
Like there's so many places to go and not many times to go there anymore. So you just got to start being like, okay, experience that, move on to the next one.
And also I'm in this boat where it's like, I don't want to buy a ticket ahead of time because they might shut the world down again. Also, I don't want to buy a ticket ahead of time or they might cancel my fucking flight, which is what's happening all over the place. It's like,
well, I mean, just the simple fact that I decided to drive because
good move.
I did the math. I said, look, we'll have fun. We'll drive down there. We'll stop in Virginia Beach and we'll have lunch. We'll go to fucking south of the border, which is as weird as it comes. But it's like
talk about that south of the border a little bit. I want to hear some more details.
Okay, so
Brandon, have you ever been to any of these places?
No, I've never been to south of the border. I think there's one in Cherry Hill though.
Is there really?
No,
Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Well, that's a Mexican restaurant I think you're talking about, and that's called On the Border.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of.
South of the border is the giant rest stop on the North Carolina, South Carolina border.
I'm not lying. I've never been.
So we real quick, I did the math and flight, renting a car, dealing with all that shit. It was more expensive than driving down there in my own truck and buying gas. I mean, it really, to be honest with you, gas, it was, what was it? $30 more than it would have been if I didn't drive every time I filled up. Probably cost me maybe an extra $80 to $100 because of gas prices right now. So it wasn't really, it was whatever it was. It wasn't that bad. South of the border is this rest stop.
Real quick, I'm gonna throw back and forth to you. Okay. So first of all, I'm on their website.
All right.
Which is sobpedro.com.
Yeah.
Did you do any shopping? Apparently there's lots of shopping. Go ahead, Chris.
Yes. Well, all right. So let's start this. Signs for south of the border started in about 100 miles away. Now, I remember as a teenager, there was a sign for south of the border on 95 in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how far they used to go. But they're about 100 miles away. The signs started. They're all 90% of them are really fucking racist. I don't even whatever. I'm relaying what their shit advertising is. So, the words were upside down. South of the border was upside down on one of them, and above it said, "Drank too much tequila."
Mm-hmm.
Everything's kind of this like mockery of, I guess what you would say Mexicans speak English like. So it's and
So
Pedro,
it's Speedy Gonzalez is what it is.
it's Speedy Gonzalez basically. It's slowpoke is what it is, which is
Yes,
the worst
yes.
of them all. Okay, it's slowpoke that's who it is. So yeah,
That's
so
not cool.
no. Yeah, so they apparently they have like a gator pit and a fucking.
Oh, well,
there's
let me
all
go
kinds
through
of
it. Hold on.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, you go.
First of all,
throw
so
some
I'm on
stuff
their
at me.
shop. Okay, they got multiple shops. We're gonna have a little deep dive into south of the border since we're talking about it. They sell
This
fireworks.
This is the Mexican restaurant in Cherry Hill.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I'm actually there right now recording. They sell fireworks, of course, because we're in the South. They have a
Right.
giant shark, I guess.
Didn't say it.
There's a place that sells like beachwear. Mexico
in
Shop
there.
West.
I don't know what that is.
And then there's Mexico Shop East.
All right.
But here's the tagline. You never sausage a place. You're always a wiener at Pedro's.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That's 5 billboards say that on the way down.
Yes.
And the sausage is on the billboard and it's like, 3-dimensional. It's coming out of the billboard.
Oh, like a cock.
Like a big dick. dick on its side dick.
Okay, they have a reptile lagoon.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Sombrero Room, which is the restaurant.
Mhm.
You can camp. Did you do any of these things?
No, I stopped in for 10 minutes, got gas, and rolled.
Well, I did get a mug from you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you did get a mug.
Well, there you go. There's your adventure.
Yeah, that was the adventure. So yeah, it's wild down there. Lots of Jesus, lots of racism, and lots of dudes that are very glazed over and lost.
Brandon, any questions for Chris?
Do they have bait and tackle down there? I don't know if we covered that. I would imagine they got. Do they have a vending machine that sells worms? Anything like that?
I didn't see any of that, to be honest with you. There was one point we went for lunch, and it was on. It's a river, but it's really an estuary from the ocean, through the bay from the ocean, and you can get like paddle boards and stuff. And we did paddle boarding before in Florida, so we were thinking about paddle boarding, and where we were sitting over, you could see dolphins coming up.
Okay, cool.
And I thought that was cool. Rose wanted to go paddleboarding where the dolphins were swimming. And I have developed over the years a healthy fear of wild animals. I don't want to go anywhere fucking near them because at any point they can kill you, especially if you're coming in at 700 pounds. Yeah. So we ended up not doing that.
Too.
Yeah, they're a little pervy. You might get a little corkscrew Peter in your pooper.
Do they have a corkscrew cock?
I don't know. I just assume all animals do. I just assume all animals have a very strange proboscis that comes out of them, like a duck. Exactly.
There you go. Duck like the fuck.
So I also did see we were having lunch in the same spot, and I hear, oh, here comes a tiki bar. And I look over and there's a tiki bar that's a boat. The boat is the driver's bartender, the pilot, I guess. And it comes cruising up this river. And I looked at Rose and I said, I hate that fucking boat and I hate the person piloting it. Fuck that thing.
I'd be all over that. He'd be like, are you speaking that Gullah Geechee?
Well, and I wanted to say that because it was funny. We first of all, we went to Leon's and I wanted to drink. I don't drink. If you don't know this, I haven't drank in years.
What's
I wanted
Leon's?
beer. Leon's was the oyster place.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
We went there and we got I wanted a beer because they serve them in those German, like the bowl, the roundy mugs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? The handle on them.
Yeah. With the dimples in them?
Big glass.
Stein?
Nah, not quite a Stein.
But like it's like made out of clear glass, but it has dimples in it. It's like circular.
Yeah, like a grenade looking.
Yeah. I almost ordered a beer just so I can get one of those mugs. But yeah, it was it was an adventure, I guess. I was going somewhere with it, but so we were at we were at a restaurant, and I went outside to go run to my truck real quick, and there was a woman speaking Geechee, and holy fuck, that's fucking wild. Well, it's so, I walked past. So, all right. So we'll real quick. So, I was told by my friend who is from this area that, Charleston is, they take all the black people and kind of force them into North Charleston.
Right.
And
segregate
them very, low key, but very obvious segregation. And the black people in Charleston are kind of like, I don't know that they're okay with it, but they keep to, they want, it's that culture keeps to itself. That was a Geechee culture. They speak a language that I was like, it made me so happy that this stuck around as intensely as it still is. Like, when you hear them speak, when you hear that language spoken, I can't see how it's been watered down, because it's completely incomprehensible. So it would be, even 200, 300 years ago, it would have been more incomprehensible to understand that, right? If it, because most things, they kind of get Americanized, for lack of a better way to put it.
Or just watered down.
And this wasn't. And I was like, fucking A, I'm glad you kept that.
Nice.
Because the other thing is that when they push all the black people into a certain area, and all the white people are in like the actual city of Charleston, and they're all the white people that I know. I'll judge a book by its cover. You don't make racist comments in public, but you're fucking racist. I can tell just by looking at you. Yeah. And when I say this, I mean, it's that new young white people that wear clothes like they're going to golf as regular leisure wear. And it was a little like, I'm looking around.
Kind of the uniform now.
Yeah, and I'm looking around. I say this all the fucking time. I don't give a shit. I look around and I go, you fucking, like, it's just honky motherfucker. Like, I don't belong here. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it was.
Brandon, have you ever been to New Orleans?
I have, yeah.
Did you ever encounter a real person from New Orleans with the real accent? With that Cajun way.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I was down there with a friend of mine, and we stayed in the French Quarter, and or no, we didn't. What the fuck's the area by Bywater? It's around the corner from the French Quarter. And we stayed there, and I was saying, like, dude, you wait till you encounter the actual New Orleans sound when you hear it, and he thought it was just like some, just a Southern accent, and then I was like, no, wait till we hear it. When you hear the real one, you're gonna be like, holy shit. And we had a cab driver pick us up, and he was yelling at me because I couldn't close the door in the nicest way possible. and my buddy was just like, I told you, and, he's speaking in that tongue. And I was just like, fucking, that's the real deal, man. It's awesome. I love it. Good.
Well, yeah, you're like trying to make out how much of it is conjunctions that you've just never heard before.
Right.
And how much of it's just not English at all. But you kind of, like, if you think about it long enough, you know what they're saying.
I was just like, I'm sorry, sir. I don't know what I'm doing.
He's like, very funny. Yeah.
Like, being condescending as hell, but being funny. And I was just like, God, my buddy looks at me. He's like, I was like, there it was. There you go. Because in the French Quarter, in that area, in the French Quarter, it's completely gentrified. So it's like, and in Bywater in New Orleans now. So no one speaks that way anymore. They're all a bunch of Southern hippies down there now. They probably hate
SEC.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'd rather hang with the people that speak the language I don't understand.
Yeah, damn right.
They're way more fucking interesting.
I can't wait to go on vacation. You guys got to have fun. I didn't. I took a health test. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's talk about wrestling. You want to talk about wrestling? Something happened. It's the talk of the professional wrestling world. A person dressed like a skeleton choked Rosie Ogawa twice. And also choked Saya Kamitani. No, it's AEW and New Japan's Forbidden Door. Now, Chris had people over. Only one person showed up. I showed up later. I was not able to watch the whole thing. Brandon, you had to watch it today, correct?
Brandon's gone. Brandon is not there. So just kick it to me. He ran off.
I watched the two main events. I watched the 2 main events at your place, Chris.
Yeah.
And then I rented it at a weird time. So I had to quickly blow through it. I blew through it last night. And then this morning I watched the buy-in. So I managed to watch the entire fucking show. It took a while, but I managed to watch the entire show. So let's go through it. All right. Start with the buy-in. First of all, this show was hot as shit from the get-go. As soon as they fucking started up, as soon as the cameras came on, this was insane, this show. And it starts off with a tag match, and I never expected this to be as exciting as it was. Bishamon, featuring Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, defeated the Factory of Aaron Solo, QAnon T. Marsh Alex Jones by pinfall. Chris, thoughts?
You know, that's funny you're saying this because I didn't even realize that this match took place. I missed it. I think I turned it on so I went and I rented it. I was talking before we started recording that I got the times mixed up, and this was probably what was on YouTube.
It was. The entire pre-show was on YouTube.
Yeah, and I missed this entire pre-show because when I turned it on, I assumed the pre-show was on at 7, and when I turned it on, I saw it was on the pay-per-view, and when I rented it, I saw Lance Archer leaving the ring, and I was like, oh, I guess I must have missed something. So these matches I didn't even catch.
All right, well, I'll just blow through them then. So, first of all, you get Yoshihashi gets a full chant, which is insane. If you think about 2019 when New Japan did a tour of the United States, people were openly booing Yoshihashi. People were stoked to see him. This QAnon T. Marsh Alex Jones does a 450 splash, and he does this shooting star press at some point to the outside. This was insane, this match. It was only like 9 minutes, but it was nuts. And obviously, Bishamon wins, but QAnon T. Marsh Alex Jones, man, we shit on him at the beginning and we couldn't stand him, but man, he gets the shit kicked out of him, but he looks good doing it, and I fucking appreciate every fucking minute of it. Any thoughts on that at all?
Well, I mean, I kind of changed my tune on QAnon T. Marsh Alex Jones when he was yelling at Hook while he was getting suplexed. Oh, I didn't do that. I can't do that. Screaming, oh no. Right. Yeah, no. That was definitely that was a turning point. When you actually I like when you see guys, we went through this with Max Caster with the Acclaimed. When you see guys morph into being good in the role that they're now in.
Yep.
And that he's in that's what he is, and he's really good at it.
Yeah.
He's a pre-show guy.
Yeah. He fits well into that category of I think why we were kind of giving him shit is because he was on just so goddamn much. And you don't see him for a couple months. Then he has the little Hook thing that we all individually got a kick out of and came back to the podcast and mentioned. And then you see him here and you're like, holy fuck, he's doing a 450 splash on Yoshihashi. It's like, this guy's not so bad. Just, in the right dosage.
Yeah, that's the thing, dosage. I guess in the early days of AEW, you kind of had to work certain guys because you didn't really have much. Now, as your roster is built, you got to have guys in specific roles that do specific shit, but they got to do it really good. And you want to see them succeed. QAnon T. Marsh Alex Jones, I don't want to necessarily see him succeed. But other guys like Ricky Starks, who, was like lower mid-card, is now solidly in the mid-card, and you want to see him do well because he fucking kills it every time he's on TV. Any final thoughts on that, Brandon? Chris?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. Next up, Lance Archer defeated Nick Camarado via pinfall. 6 minutes. Next, tag team match. Swerve in Our Glory, which is the name of their team. Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland defeated Suzuki-gun, El Desperado, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru via pinfall. Chris, thoughts?
This is how you start a show.
Hell yeah.
This was fucking great. I mean, it really was. Especially when they go into, there's a point in which Kanemaru is going after Keith Lee, and Keith Lee's no-selling because he's so big, and it backfires on him. Like all the things that you would normally see in one of these matches kind of backfired. They went back and forth. So every time somebody went to get their usual shit in, it would go wrong. And we got to see Kanemaru spit whiskey in somebody's face, which is that's fantastic. I love it. It was great. I really enjoyed this match.
Brandon, did you catch this or no?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
Little bit of a spat in the middle between Keith Lee and Swerve. You can drop that, have it come back later. The classic high flyer, big man tag team, as old as time, works very well here. One of the many in this night matches where I'm watching and just going, this is so fucking bizarre that I'm watching these four people in the ring together, which is really the fun of this whole show.
Dude, every time Desperado tried to do the number 2, I was like, oh God, I can't believe I'm watching El Desperado on fucking in U.S. soil.
You're trying.
It was insane.
He's numero dos and Keith Lee, who's like 900 pounds. The fucking, and Desperado's wild because like there's nobody like him. His mannerisms are so odd.
So good and great.
Oh no, I mean this is a good thing. He is different than anybody I've ever seen. And you've seen a million guys in masks. That's nothing new, but somehow he does it different, man. There's something about the way he moves his eyes and his head.
His eyes, and he's got the tassels on the back of his head, so he's constantly over-exaggerating his head back to side, so those tassels are flopping all over the place. But it works really well it's been done before with guys with tassels all over their heads in Lucha Libre. But because he doesn't really work a full Lucha Libre style, it fucking works, man. I fucking love El Desperado. And when he did that thing where he was holding onto the bottom ropes with his fucking toes, and they get stomped. That was so stupid, and I loved every minute of it.
When he did that, there was a period, like I said, with the eyes where he's just kind of sitting there, and I think it's a combination of the face on the mask and his whited out eyes that he's got this look at his face like, whoop! Yeah, and he's not moving. He just looks like dead. It's so weird. It's great.
Yeah. So fun. Fast 12 minutes too. All right, here's a match that I didn't finish. You'll be surprised why. Max Caster and the Gun Club with Anthony Bowens defeated Yu Uemura and the New Japan Dojo of Alex Coughlin, the DKC, and Kevin Knight via pinfall. Yeah, I turned this off. I skipped. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, here's a match where I saw it come on, and I'm just going to skip through this because in the podcast, if I really have to talk about it, I can just make something up, even though I didn't watch it. So here's me pretending that I watched it and making something up. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Max Caster actually kind of had a funny rap in the beginning for what it was.
Yeah, it was
a little chaotic for how big of a match it was, but not too bad about it. How did I do?
A little Danhausen, Chris.
So let me just throw this out there. I don't understand the Billy Gunn hate.
He's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just kind of like, Billy Gunn. I kind of think he's really good.
He's 50-some years old, and he doesn't mind taking a bump.
Take some bumps. This was like, I watched it live, so I didn't have a choice. But it wasn't like, would this match please end? It was pleasantly short. I believe one of the young boys has graduated from the dojo. He's on excursion.
No,
it was an American. It was an American guy.
Of these guys? Oh, it's Alex Coughlin. He's like a cyborg now.
Okay, Alex Coughlin looked like he was injured.
The guy with the mustache?
Yeah, he looked like
I didn't watch the match. So.
Yeah, if you watch the match when he was coming down to the ring, it looked like he was walking on his toes on his one foot.
Okay.
Like his ankle, something was wrong. So a lot of it was like there was some like, what's he doing? Like he was trying to pick up. First of all, fucking Billy Gunn's gigantic. We don't really realize it.
Yeah.
But he's huge, especially in AEW because it's smaller guys. Like he's gigantic. Couldn't pick, you could see he got him up, but it was like, this is kind of clunky. But Billy Gunn came out and he gave you got to suck it out of him. His kids look like dumbasses. He was pissed off at his kids. They pushed the fact that he's like, I don't think he cares that he wins. He's pissed off at his kids. But I guess it's like a way to get some guys on the card. We always say that, but like, and also push that storyline forward with his kids and the Acclaimed. But at the end, when they get the win, when Billy Gunn and Max Caster get the win, Billy Gunn usually pushes Anthony Bowens around. He leaves him on the bottom of the ramp, and I think he did it on accident. Because Anthony Bowens going, what are you doing? You got to push me. And then he turned around and wouldn't come back and push him. So they went through a little thing, which is kind of like one of these things that probably wasn't supposed to happen, but it happened on accident. It was kind of funny.
Right.
But we just got done talking about it. So it's like, with the Acclaimed are in that spot where you see them, they're in the spot that they belong in. They're very good in that spot, but you don't have Anthony Bowens. And now the Gun Club, like them or not, are falling into that same category where this is the dipshit heel tag team that look like assholes all the time. So if this is what you're going to do with these guys, then this was the perfect way to do it. You involve Danhausen, which I don't get, but whatever. It's not for me then. But I don't have any hate. Obviously have much too specific an opinion on a match that really didn't fucking matter, but I didn't hate it.
Well, it's good that they got all the young guys on the card. It puts over the New Japan Dojo, and maybe people will watch Strong. I still won't watch Strong, but whatever. All right, main card. Here we go. 6-man tag match. The winning team received the man advantage for the Blood and Guts match on Wednesday, which I didn't realize watching this. Minoru Suzuki and the Jericho Appreciation side, you have Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho with Ty Conti, defeated Eddie Kingston, Shota Umino, and Wheeler Yuta via pinfall. Brandon, thoughts?
Suzuki coming out and Kazumi Inari being already that over was encouraging to me for the rest of the night with that crowd, because this was kind of like right when I'm starting to pay attention, my first time through it. I love Eddie Kingston, who really can't get any more over, pulling his shirt off as soon as he sees Suzuki getting tagged in. That spot was awesome. Then no selling the chops. Chaotic towards the end. That's pretty much all I got on this one. But
Chris, good.
So one of the problems here is that once they announce what the stakes were in this match, it's essentially Blood and Guts is the original name for War Games. So it's a War Games match, and the baby faces never have the advantage ever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You need that 2-on-1 heel baby face thing to get that match really going. So you kind of know what's going to happen. Really didn't matter.
Honestly, did we not know what was going to happen with Shota Umino?
Oh yeah, of course.
Right.
I mean, of course you did.
Somebody's going to eat the pin.
I love Suzuki. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. But it's getting to be the same thing every time. It's cool to see him. It's cool to see him on American television. I love it. But it happened, and we moved on. I really don't have much more.
I don't know. I disagree.
I mean,
I fucking love this match. I thought it was great.
I liked it. I just don't. It didn't really like ring any bells that made me really like. I enjoyed it. I watched it. It was a good match, but I don't have any hot takes.
Shota Umino looked fantastic. He looked like baby Tanahashi out there. He's got the colorful pants on and the whooshy hair.
Yeah, he did. His jacket was sweet, and I should just say, like, I thought this whole card was a lot of fun. We'll go through them all one by one, but I don't have a bad thing to say about any of this. So this isn't my typical blah, whatever. It was over. No, these are all fun. I'm just not going to shout that out. So.
Oh, don't worry. I'll have bad stuff. Let's move on. 3-way winner takes all tag team match for the Ring of Honor Championship, whatever the fuck that is, and the IWGP Tag Team Championships. FTR defeated the United Empire and Roppongi Vice via pinfall. Random thoughts?
The United Empire tag team, like, they just look so fucking unique, even coming out to the ring. Yeah, I'm trying to take this in partially, imagining I haven't seen much of any of these guys before, or this is my first opinion of them. When you see Jeff Cobb and Okan come out with a question mark over his face that's moving whether he lifts his head up or down, like you're just anybody, whether you're 6 years old or 50 years old, you're going, what are these two up to? What am I not watching that I could be watching that these two are on, which I think is strong. And there's strong performance throughout from there. You get to see Jeff Cobb flying all over the place. I don't know if Harwood actually got hurt or he had to just take a shit in the middle, because he looked fine when he came back. He had that little piece of tape over his shoulder, which maybe Chris can explain to me what that does, because it seems like it shouldn't be doing anything. And
I am not a doctor, so my
just looks like something that you would be wearing.
My non-medical opinion is I would never put that fucking tape on me anywhere. It makes no sense. But I don't know. Kinesiology tape? Yeah, I don't know if that works. I never. My wife does some powerlifting, and her I don't know if it's her chiropractor or her trainer uses that tape on her. So I don't know. I don't have an opinion. To me, it looks like a bunch of fucking hokum quackery.
Every time you see somebody with a lot of kinesio tape on them, especially professional wrestlers, you're just like, they should probably go see a doc. They should probably get surgery. Well, take some time off and get some fucking surgery. What are you doing?
So I used it. I tried it a few times, and my greasy skin, the shit just falls off after a while. And everybody,
skin.
Yeah, and everybody I train with that uses that same thing, and 5 minutes later, the shit's in fucking balls in the corner. So I don't. Who knows? I guess you got to spray them with that glue too. This match,
I used glucosamine. It didn't work. My knees still suck. Okay, Chris.
This match was it was excellent. Like I said, I fucking just the sight of Jeff Cobb. I mean, this dude's a fucking monster. He's like 5'10" and 280. What the fuck is going on with this guy? He's just a freak of fucking nature. And to see, like, they ran some of the videos that they would run on New Japan. Their promo videos, which in my opinion are the best fucking hype videos in the world for professional wrestling. And they show you that you saw the like underneath shot of Great O'Connor, where he's got all his gear on. It's like, who the like if you didn't know who this guy, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on with this dude?
He looks cool. His presentation is fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he's another one that we were just fucking shitting all over, and then we got miniatures of him bought for us. Now we love him because we can play. We saw the movie, bought the toy.
I could say I was there from ground zero. I'm usually wrong, but
what was? But have we figured out who the bald guy is and which one's the bald guy in Revival?
It's
FTR.
Sorry, Dax Harwood.
Dax Shepard.
I'm guessing.
Dax Shepard. The bald guy.
Rosario Dawson.
Is I looked at I was here, my friend was here with us, and I looked at him. I was like, he's awesome.
Yeah, he rolls.
I wasn't quite sold on him because they kept pushing him into these characters in WWE.
Oh, when they were shaving their backs?
Well,
they
even
should bring that back.
Yeah, even before that, when they were in NXT, it's like they were pushing them so hard into this tough guy. Like it was like, they were just so over the top with it, with this. Oh, they're old school and they're tough and they're old school.
They're a throwback.
Yeah, and they're a throwback, and it was just I wasn't buying it. And then once they just kind of settled into who they wanted themselves to be in AEW, now it's all I'm buying the whole thing. And that dude can work his fucking ass off.
Yeah.
So I really like this, and I love the belt collector. I love the teams or the guys that have like Ultimo Dragon style. He's got belts on his arms, belts on his waist. He's just going around the world collecting the belts. It reminds me of like, back in the day, boxing. Mike Tyson would have 3 belts. You know what I mean? Like the champion would have all 3 belts. That was like, you got to go around, you got to fight everybody and take all their titles to be the best guy. Because if you don't have all of them, yeah, you're great, but are you the best? We don't know. There's still another guy out with a title. You got to go fight him and get his too. So I'm a big fan of that whole concept of going to different places and collecting all the belts. I think Zack Sabre Jr. pulled it off the best years ago. And Ultimo Dragon, I already said.
Brandon, to your point, I definitely I didn't watch this match live, but when I stopped off to see Chris, he and the guy that was with us were they were kind of like, I think he was really hurt watching it, knowing with their interpretation of what it was, the way that the match was laid out. I don't think he was hurt. I think that was all for show. Because O'Khan and Jeff Cobb knew exactly what to do, which was beat the shit out. Like there was no hesitation. They were like, take him in. Unless they're excellent workers. O'Khan's been only doing it for like 5 years. Like top notch. Let's figure this all out. They pulled him into the corner and then they just started beating the shit out of him. Wouldn't let Rocky Romero and Trent tag in. And you know what? Props to fucking Rocky Romero. You knew he was going to get pinned, but they had me. They had me fooled a couple of times. It's a great fucking match. Yeah, Chris.
No, I was going to say, watching it live, the reason why we were kind of, well, you didn't know. You were like, well, what's going on here? He sold the injury so well. He dropped when he was in a weird spot, which is where injuries happen, right? So it wasn't like he sold the injury, and when they cut to him getting taken to the back, it was a quick cut. It was out of step with everything. It was very like, whoa, what's going on there? And then they just flashed on it and went back. So we bag on their production ability sometimes. They did a really good fucking job of selling that and making it look real.
Could it be that you are so predispositioned by WWE's over covering of people with fake injuries that maybe it worked in AEW's favor and fooled you? Could be that.
Yeah, I would say that. I would agree to that.
Like getting put on a fucking stretcher and then coming back. Like anyone would let you do that. Okay, Brandon, thoughts? Final thoughts on this?
Yeah, also AEW's botch coverage of real industries really makes it a grab bag of what actually happened. Wikipedia says Dax Harwood legitimately injured his left shoulder, leaving Wheeler to fly solo. But I'd be shocked if 5 guys who have never really wrestled together before piece that together, where it was a perfect brand new camera that peels down as he's walking into the ring for the finishing spot, right?
Right. Also, it was just like there was no hesitation when it came to the workers in the ring. I mean, props to them. Maybe that's because they're excellent. I mean, Rocky Romero's out there. He's been doing it for 20 years. But there was not a single moment of hesitation that they were like, hey, you know what we got to do? Beat the living shit out of this guy and not let the other guy tag in. It was really fast. And I think there's a predisposition for us to be like, Mick Foley getting taken out on the stretcher. Mick Foley's coming back. And then they've done it every single time anybody's fake injured in WWE for now 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, only other final thought I had was I thought Trent and Rocky didn't look like a weak third link in any sense of the word here. They were great too. So,
yeah, awesome match.
Can I just add real quick? I just looked it up. They're claiming that he had a separated shoulder, but and then it was a tweet and it said separated shoulder, rub some tequila in it, you'll be fine. So it was. I'm sure. But here's the thing, though. I've separated my shoulder. If you had to go, you could go.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like depending on the severity of it. So it's like even if it is a work, which it probably is, they didn't go overboard. Well, it's a separated shoulder. We can do that.
We're going to get to a match later where someone actually got hurt. So we'll compare the way it was handled between the tag match and another match. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on. All right, sorry, Brandon. Final thoughts.
No, I'm good. I gave them to you.
All right, let's go. Here we go. 4-way match for the inaugural AEW All Atlantic Championship. Pac, who actually lives on the Atlantic, defeated Clark Connors, the Rhino, Clark Connors, Miro, and Malachi Black via submission. Go ahead, Brandon.
This was another one I thought was a ton of fun. 4 guys fit very well. I was happy to see Clark Connors. I get it. He puts Miro through a table, gets a chant at some point. Just from a name recognizability perspective, he's the clear weak 4th link here, but not at all. Jesus Christ, he's the queer link in the chain here, but not at all when it came to the match. Felt a little bit more improvised than some of the other ones, which I appreciated. And Pac. Is it Pac or Pac? I'm doing the
Pac, like 6-pack. I always screw it up. We screwed last week. I said Pac like 20 times.
It's now like I was saying with the stamina thing, where I originally knew what was right, and now it's been fucked up so many times. I'm not sure, and I'm getting worse at it.
Going forward, let's just all pause before we say it. It's Pac.
Okay. But pretty good shit. Miro didn't get as big of a pop as I thought he was going to get. That surprised me a little bit. It seemed
you
like
don't think so?
Good. I did not. No.
I disagree with that 100%.
Yeah. I think it was maybe you were filling up your glass of water during it. Dude, he got a huge pop when he came out.
Were you vaping when that happened?
Yeah.
Did you have your
maybe the cloud
I'm sure
of
I
vape was like.
Chris, thoughts?
I love this match. Like I said, there were no matches I didn't like. So this is going to be a trend here today. But I love this match. The biggest thing, first of all, you get Pac gets a title, which we're always complaining they never do anything with him. And fucking Miro is going to be so fucking pissed come Wednesday. Because if you were going to spray the shit in somebody's eyes, he's the one you do it to.
Yep.
Because now you fucked over him, and he's going to be on a rampage.
Hopefully, we can transition away from
Friday night at 10 o'clock. What?
Right. Hopefully, we can transition away from this whole House of Black versus Pac and his crew and move more into.
It's dead, right?
Like they've been feuding forever now.
Well,
I'd like to see Miro. I did like everybody in Malachi Black's crew. I'd like to see Miro against.
Yeah.
Is there a plane flying by? What is that?
No, that's
Somebody
not
got a
mine.
plane?
That's not mine.
That's me. My fucking mic came out. Does it sound? Does you still hear it?
That's better. Any final thoughts on this match, Brandon?
No, I think Pac is somebody you can kind of send wherever to other promotions with this title for 25 minutes. He'll get over. What, dude?
It's just
I
that
also
now every
agree-
time I
I
hear
also
Pac,
agree
we're
that
gonna laugh.
Pac.
Yeah,
is
it's like I got
excellent.
his mentally.
He's also
go
he can do
circle back.
babyface and heel real good. Shall I move on? Let's move on. 6-man tag match. Dudes with all the attitudes. Darby Allin and Sting and Shingo Takagi defeated the Bullet Club of El Phantasmo, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson with Hikuleo via pinfall. Hiromu was supposed to be in this match, Hiromu Takahashi, and he had a fever and couldn't travel. I'm sure it was COVID related or COVID fears. But there you go. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, this was another one. While I was watching, I had to do blink my eyes an extra time, and be like, "Am I watching somebody that fucking is on WWE 2K22 and downloaded all these characters and is running a match here?" Because it was just such a bizarre mix of 8 guys there.
Random
Fucking
DLC.
Hikuleo and the Young Bucks against, but yeah, Sting, sets the tone, comes flying right out of the match, jumping off of shit, taking bumps. Oh my god. Goto looks crazy. It almost looked like some WCW.
Oh, Shingo, you mean?
Yeah, sorry. Shingo looks crazy. It almost looked like some WCW shit from the 90s where you're just like, what is going on with all these guys there?
Why are these dudes together?
Tons of fun though.
Chris, thoughts?
Oh yeah, I really like this. The only thing I didn't like, and it goes back to what we say, like the Young Bucks, a little overindulgent with their bad comedy. At one point, it was just like, what are we doing here? But I love this match. Sting hits in all the right spots with me. I mean, it's at this point he can do no wrong.
That
No
double
selling
super
this
kick,
double
no
super
sell.
kick.
Oh my
I mean,
God,
come
so
on,
fucking
man.
Good.
It's just you look at these guys and it's like some of these guys, they stick around for so long and they just can't do it. And then you get Sting, who's just, what does he do? What does Sting do? He does one giant thing, right? And then he no sells because he's not really a person. He's an entity now.
Yeah, he's
it's
the Crow.
And it's believable.
Yep.
We did look at each other and go, no, he's not going to slide down from the roof. He can't slide down from the roof. They just had the Owen Hart Memorial Cup. That's what we were saying. I was like, no. And he, they did what they did and he jumped off the butthole. But, yeah, great match. I mean, and like you said, I mean, this is like prime, pre-NWO and right at the beginning of NWO and right before NWO, prime WCW, Monday Nitro, weird tag teams, dudes from other countries, and they give you had no idea they were going to be on TV. This is Muda and Chono main eventing a pay-per-view in the 90s. Like, this is just like, what is going on? But it was fucking awesome.
We talked about it last week. We were saying that this had the potential. Like, we knew that it made no sense, this match, and that just with AEW's track record over the last few pay-per-views, that this would be a lot of fun. And it totally was insane.
Well, and even to go back, like what I was just saying, like we were all just saying that it was like a throwback to the 90s on WCW. They were the dudes with attitudes, which was like, I don't know what anybody else was thinking when they saw that. When I saw they were the dudes with attitudes, I was like, this fucking rules.
Yeah.
I was so happy when I saw
after
that.
Sting does this splash off the butthole onto all of them, Darby Allin runs down with his skateboard and whacks Hikuleo with it, which I fucking love.
People.
It was so good.
All we needed was they should have put Hikuleo in the match, and then instead of Hiromu, they could have used the Junkyard Dog.
JYD Junkyard Dog.
He was one of the original dudes with attitudes.
Dudes with attitudes. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Junkyard
Darby
Dog.
out.
Good.
Darby Allin got blasted too by that double super kick. I was like, oh
Yeah, he did.
geez, they really laid into that one. I guess they've been waiting to get a hold of that guy for one reason or another.
There's
That
a
looked like
couple
that had
times
something
where you're
behind
looking.
it.
There's a couple times where you're looking at Darby Allin, and you're like, Jesus Christ, how the fuck don't you get hurt more? Jesus. Shingo
That
looked
just
great.
felt
Everyone
like
looked
something
great.
happened in 2020, and they never got a hold of each other in the ring until that moment, and they kicked the shit out of him.
Which is crazy. They mentioned it during the match. It's the first time they've been in the ring together. It's crazy in a match.
The one thing I noticed about Darby Allin is that if you ever watch him, it's almost like, all right, my entire body is fair game, but I'm protecting my head.
Yeah.
Like he just
He's
throws
smart.
his body to the wind, but he never hits his head.
No, he's always tucked. He's
Yeah.
good to go.
It's one
Good
way
match.
to go about it.
Yeah. Singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Thunder Rosa defeated Tony Storm via pinfall. Brandon, thoughts?
I fucked up and missed this one. I went
This was a tough spot for
back
them.
half, front half, and I guess this is where I shut it off. I thought I had covered it all. So how was it?
Yeah, Chris.
I'm gonna agree with you. It was a tough spot, and I was kind of starting to glaze over at this point. I digested a lot. I think I am low key, kind of pissed off at Thunder Rosa because of that whole fucking situation with Marina Shafir the week before. I thought that was just like, I don't know. There's just it's what's. I think she looked great.
That
She
match
looked-
was bad.
Yeah, and she looked like she was sandbagging her the whole time. It was just like really odd, and I don't know. It was just, but I think it was more the whole pay-per-view ahead of it. You know, I had just seen all this cool stuff, and I just couldn't digest it. It was just too much. I was starting to glaze over at this point. Like I said, it was a rough spot for them.
This was a good match. It was a very good match. The problem I had with it was that it had no one from the other company in it, and this is a company versus company thing. Tony, I always called him Tony Storm. Tony Khan. Once again, I put myself through the media scrum.
Oh,
and I did it again.
God.
I do it. I'm in charge of that apparently. He mentioned that he tried to get Stardom women on this show. Stardom is under the umbrella of New Japan. Whatever the fuck they are. It's not Cyber Agent. What the hell's the other one? Bushiroad. But because of lack of visas, work visas, and because they had shows booked this past weekend, which we'll review next week, he couldn't get anybody to come over. So this was a tough spot. You know what I mean? Like all the excitement was the clash between these two companies. And this is legit the only, I mean, I guess the Lance Archer match, I mean, he's both companies. This was the only match that didn't have any of that clash, and it kind of lost luster with it. If this was a main event on Dynamite, everybody would be going crazy for it. But because it was stuck in the middle of the show with no one from New Japan or anyone representing New Japan, then it kind of was a dud.
Thunder Rosa looked great though. She looked like a corpse. She looked like scary.
Yeah.
There was like this dead-eyed look about her the whole time. I thought it was awesome.
Let's move on. Singles match for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Will Ospreay with Australia Open, as Chris calls him, defeated Orange Cassidy via pinfall. Brandon, thought.
We talked about last week. I had a feeling this would be like one of the more exciting ones of the night for the live crowd, and it definitely landed with that one. As good as anything I've seen from Orange Cassidy, if not the best. Once he kind of dropped a lot of the comedy shit, he looked fucking awesome here, which impressed me. And I gotta say, like Will Ospreay, maybe I'm not valuing his fucking creepy sexual assault defending shit enough when in this opinion, but I was like, dude, for one night under this lens, pretty exciting. You guys, you're doing move after move within 5 seconds, like just whizzing all over the place. So yeah, I think it landed pretty well, whether you like it or not. These two.
I agree with you. I hate to say it. Speaking of whizzing all over the place, yeah, I hate to say it. I'm gonna piss all over him now. Yeah, he's pretty fucking good, dude. He's a piece of shit, but he's pretty good. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I concur. I don't really have much to add to it. It was pretty damn good, though. I enjoyed it.
Is someone watching Seinfeld reruns in the background or something? What is that noise?
That's we have Rose's uncle is over. He was.
Oh, okay.
He's doing. We're getting some work. We're getting some work done in the house.
Gotcha.
And
So Frank
so
Costanza's here. Gotcha.
They're
Frank
catching
Costanza's
up
in the house.
upstairs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, thoughts?
Can you hear that over the mic?
Yes, I can.
Turn that
just for a moment. Just for a minute.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy.
Like I said, this was good. Orange Cassidy is Will Ospreay is like basically gotten to a point with me where it's like I'm believing it. It's not just flipping and no selling. The character's developed now, so very entertaining match. Two great wrestlers, and this was a good match.
More importantly, Australia Open starts beating the shit out of Orange Cassidy. The music hits. One of the biggest pops of the night. Katsuyori Shibata shows up in his fucking workout pants. I'll tell you, for a tough guy, man, he cries every time the crowd freaks out for him. He came out on that stage. He started getting teary-eyed. He came down, started kicking some fucking ass, doing some Katsuyori Shibata shit. Then they put on the sunglasses. Brandon, go.
The brainless Shibata comes out.
He felt the same way. He felt out of his body, just like he did when his brain was removed.
I like when he comes out, his shit just looks so old. I haven't seen a ton of him in New Japan, but that black background with the like almost like Always Sunny font.
Yes, that shitty
font. That says Katsuyori Shibata. You're like, this looks like it's from 2004. And
an interesting thing about like Japanese presentation of English, the fonts are straight up out of MS Word. They're terrible.
Right.
Fonts are awful.
Like his thing is to be very intimidating, and then he comes out and it's like this very graceful font, and he's screaming and crying. You're like, it's hard to get a read on him at first, but he did get a decent pop.
Yeah, Chris.
It doesn't help that he actually comes out to elevator music too. Which is he's fucking awesome. I love this dude. I'm so glad he came out. I was fucking hype as shit. Put the sunglasses on, looked silly. I'm not getting wasn't that a Meltzer-ism that they actually removed his brain and washed it?
He said that.
Meltzer
Meltzer said that.
That's what I thought. Okay.
We talked about it back in the day.
I remember. Okay, I remember. Just yeah.
We don't really bring up Meltzer anymore. We wait for the moments.
Yeah.
We can make fun of him every week. Gotta wait for the special moments when he looks.
No, it gets old. You want it to be. You want to make people wait for it.
That would be a good if we're ever running out of shit for a week or if somebody's off, just dig up Meltzer year in review, like his 10 most fucking ridiculous,
and read them like him.
Special edition.
Yeah.
All right,
let's move on. Singles match. Zack Sabre Jr. was supposed to fight Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson is injured, but he has named the newest member of the Blackpool Combat Club, and he said, "You will not be disappointed." And it's Claudio Castagnoli, a.k.a. Cesaro from WWE, comes out to a massive fucking pop. As soon as they saw that fucking Swiss flag on there, it was fucking massive. Go ahead, Brandon.
Holy shit, yeah. I mean, this is a guy I was watching WWE forever being like, he's head and shoulders above the wrestlers they have him against, and boy, do they put him to the fucking test technically here with Zack Sabre Jr. This was, again, for the fourth time, holy fuck, I can't believe this is what I'm watching in front of my eyes, these two going head-to-head. Name kind of sucks. I think it was his name before Cesaro.
Yeah, it was.
Don't love it still. Kind of sucks, but he's fucking awesome. I think if he stays in Blackpool Combat Club, that's moving right up to the top, solidified #1 faction.
Yeah, like what the tag team combinations out of this are fucking insane. Chris, thoughts?
So Claudio Castagnoli is his actual name.
Yeah, it's his real name.
It sucks still.
But I don't think at this point you can call him something else.
You just call him Claudio.
But then that's a WWE thing, man. Remember, he was Antonio Cesaro because he had an Italian-sounding name, but we can't use your real name. So, because Julius Caesar,
no one from Switzerland that place really close to Italy has Italian names.
Would have an Italian name. So, so anyway, this was I didn't consider it a surprise. I mean, it was kind of in the back of my head that it might not happen, but I was very happy to see it. It was a really good match. I fucking love ZSJ. He's awesome. This was great. He fits in perfectly. Castagnoli fits in perfectly. So we'll actually see what this dude can do, because, he'd never really be over because he has an accent.
Yeah, well, that's what Vince thought. Yeah, right. I got to say, I do wish that they gave Zach a little, or Claudio did sell a little bit more for Zach. I don't think he did a great job. Maybe it's his adrenaline. I don't know what it was. I think Zach looked like a chump in this. He got his offense in, but it didn't look like it worked.
Yeah, and he didn't get enough.
Zach's effectiveness in making him believable is that everything he does hurts.
Yeah,
and he was just pulling his way out of it, powering out of everything.
I will give you that. I agree with that. I also a lot of it is his mouth as well, his behavior inside the ring when he's kicking the shit out of you, and you didn't get really any of that. These snarky things that he says and his body language and his
only a couple
arrogance
times
and all these things. He did bow at the ref at one point.
He did. And he also like when he gets the shit kicked out of him, he can't figure a guy out.
Yeah.
He'll yell at the ref, like, get the fuck away from me. I'll figure it out. Okay, I'll be over. Leave me alone, which is great. Get him off me. Just give me a minute. I love when he does that, where he's just like frustrated. But Claudio didn't give him shit. He didn't sell anything. Which I'm a little disappointed in, but we'll get there in the main event. But any final thoughts on that, Brandon?
The other thing I was going to say was I haven't watched Zach in a couple months, and it was similar to when Bryan Danielson came out, where how well he moves in the submission shit, it makes me want to be like, oh, dude, I got to start learning some of this shit because it looks so cool.
Catch wrestling,
which none of the high flying shit does. But if you just have a good feel for holds in the human body, I'm like, dude, I gotta pick some of this up.
The best thing about his the whole thing with Zach is that it's it's a whole Brit rest thing where it's twist things until they hurt, but he just does it in this weird way where he's just constantly he'll put his arms behind his back with one guy's arm, and then he's holding a leg with the other one. It looks like it doesn't hurt, but the guy, it kind of looks like it does. You're like, man, that looks like it hurts like hell. It probably doesn't. It probably feels like somebody you're at a chiropractor, but I don't know. He's fucking great, man.
It's great.
All right, 4-way match for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Jay White with Gedo defeated Hangman, Kazuchika Okada, and Adam Cole. Big pop for Okada when he came out. He looked fucking great. He looked like the biggest star in this fucking ring. I'll tell you that. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, boy, egg on my face. I was over here last week saying, ain't no fucking way Okada's coming out. And he immediately was announced, I think the day after we posted the episode. So, Holy shit, that took this whole thing to a next level. Then you get Shibata on top of it. New Japan really pushed all their chips in here at this point. A ton of fun. I thought that their guys looked notably better than Hangman and Adam Cole. Adam Cole in this. I don't think that we need to say that out loud, but we'll do it.
We'll do it anyway.
Just to make it explicit here. A little bit of an awkward ending with trying to get the Rainmaker off, and then it just kind of wrapped up pretty quickly. Was disappointed with that, but Jay White, man, he fucking rocks. I hope you see more of him in AEW.
Yeah, we were watching this when I showed up with Chris, and we were watching it together, and there was the awkward ending was almost like he was definitely hurt. I think he was out of position for something, and then you could see Jay White just talking to the referee. And at first we were like, is he yelling at the ref because he counted? But I think it's the report is that Adam Cole's actually hurt now. So, Chris, thoughts?
First of all, I got to give Brandon some credit for making the casino reference when talking about an AEW pay-per-view. That was very good. Slide those chips in for our next pay-per-view.
Thank you.
All in. Yeah, no, I mean, you're 100% correct. It's almost like you had two pros and two amateurs in there. I'm not even talking skill set, just ring presence. The two AEW guys, in my opinion, were completely overshadowed by Jay White and Okada. And Jay White, not a guy that's been around that long, probably as long as Adam Cole and Hangman, because he was a young boy when Hangman was in ROH. So, I mean, they've been around a long at the same time, but they just kind of had the two AEW wrestlers just kind of had a shadow cast over them. And Adam Cole looked like, he literally looked like, to me, like some dude they just threw in there. He just didn't look like
shit.
He really did.
It's just like, oh, and
Really
here's this big superstar, and here's this big superstar, and here's this young.
Here's Clark
stud.
Connors.
Here's this young stud, and then here's this greasy-haired guy with a bad leather jacket that doesn't fit. And look,
And a Master Chief mask.
And a Master Chief mask with his fucking heel. This is a guy that I was a fan of.
Yes, you were.
When in NXT, and it's not that I'm not a fan of him. It's just that you are now on another level, and you are not. You don't. I think it's you. I said this before. He needs to be worked into a level of credibility, which means he needs to be put in spots against guys that he beats, and he beats by cheating or be by whatever nefarious means on TV for a number of weeks to make everybody believe that this is the why this guy belongs in this spot. And right now he just looks like some dude that got thrown in there.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy. To once again, like he
doesn't look special. He doesn't do anything special.
He does
good
super
on the mic.
kicks.
But right now he's a sycophant. He's Mr. Sycophant now, and it doesn't work with his. I mean, it's entertaining, but it doesn't work with his skill set, which is being good on the mic.
Please explain that.
What do you mean,
Mr.? Why is he Mr. Sycophant? I'm genuinely asking.
Hey, Jay White. Yeah, we're gonna do stuff. Bullet Club. We're gonna
All
do.
right.
Oh, no, we're not. Oh no, it doesn't matter. Oh, I'll hit you from behind. Oh no, I wasn't gonna hit you from behind.
Yeah.
He's kind of a sick. He's kissing ass to Jay.
No, I
White.
get it now. I see what you meant. I just got kind of lost there for a second.
When he is so dominant on the mic is when he's the best.
Right.
Jay White's outshadowing him because Jay White's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is, it's almost like you're looking at these guys. You can always, so you have, there's, I guess consider 5 guys that are kind of rolling together right now with that crew. And that would be the Young Bucks, and then Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish and Red Dragon, and then Adam Cole. So you have those 5 guys. As a crew, they are right now, in my eyes, if you were to look at their body of work, like what they're doing week to week, they are the factory. They're 5 dudes who are silly.
If you're looking at you're talking about
like,
their like what they're doing in the ring, or what do you mean?
I just mean like the way that they're presented.
Right.
Right. Like, obviously they're, I don't want to, how do I explain this? They're not coming across as tough or dangerous,
or that they could win.
They come across like guys that should lose, but for some reason are winning.
Yeah, weasels.
Right, but they're not even shadowing. They're not even going heavy on the weaselness. Now, if you take the Young Bucks out, we all know that's their thing, right? So they can do that on their own. You take Fish and O'Reilly out. Look, say what you will. Those 2 as a tag team is always entertaining, right? They work well as a tag team. And then you take, because Bobby Fish will be injured within the next month. You take Kyle O'Reilly by himself.
Who's hurt?
You knew
Clairvoyant Chris.
What's that?
Clairvoyant Chris.
Who, Bobby Fish is hurt?
Yeah.
He's already hurt.
Yeah. Take Kyle O'Reilly. You take Kyle O'Reilly by himself, and he's great in the mid-card. That's a dude that can wrestle and look great against anybody in the mid-card. If you had him beat up Q-Anity Marshall Alex Jones, it's legitimate and believable, and you would enjoy it at 25 after 8 on a Wednesday. But then what's Adam Cole? Like,
right.
It's almost like,
I'll tell you what he's doing. He's going to be sitting on the fucking couch for the next few weeks with his injury. So.
He's another one though. Like, we had this conversation because somebody was holding the sign, said we want, or where's MJF? And we had this conversation. You miss him? Because I don't.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, but I mean, if you took Adam Cole, and you will, because now he's concussed, if that's what the problem is, you take him out of this roster for a few minutes, nothing is gonna fucking change.
I don't think it's a concussion. It's some muscular issue. I don't know what it was.
Whatever it was, nothing's gonna change. Nothing. You're not gonna miss him. He's not integral to the plot at all.
Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I never really liked Adam Cole, to be honest. I wasn't the biggest NXT guy, and he's sticking out like a sore thumb here. Like you said with Jay White, it's just a better version of that person, and now he's kind of stuck because that was the only thing that he was good at was when he was the alpha in the small pond, and now you kind of throw him out with a global wrestling, and just like nothing's really playing too well here. So not that I'm happy that he's gone or want him to be injured, but some time off might do him well.
Yeah, maybe rethink the whole thing. Right. Go ahead.
I wonder with these U.S. guys, though, like to the point of the amateurs versus pros, I wonder if they're just TV'd to hell with like, you got to move in this, you got to get all this shit in this time, and everything's a little bit overbooked and a little bit underthought.
Oh boy.
Where you could just see with the New Japan guys, like they're not moving too fast, they're not moving too slow. They just have this innate pacing to what they're doing, that things breathe right, and you don't know it until you see it, and then when you see it, you're like, God damn, that's how it should be done. It's not like I think Adam Page and Adam Cole are stupid. It's just I'm wondering how they pick up that trait, because you watch a lot of these guys and their timing is just off throughout a match.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you see them against people that are quote unquote higher caliber. You see these errors, you see things that are wrong and stuff like that. An example is the Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus Desperado and Kanemaru match. It's like Desperado and Kanemaru. I mean, Keith Lee did a great job. Swerve Strickland looked like he was rushing through everything. And then you got Desperado grabbing fucking stretch mufflers in the middle of a match, like out of nowhere, just like to slow everything down, putting a guy in a fucking chin lock to slow everything down. Kanemaru taking his time, kicking knees to slow the fucking pace down. I don't know. It's just, man, that fucking dojo, man. They pump out fucking great wrestlers. I guess that's it. Maybe we need a dojo in this fucking company. We need somebody to teach these guys how to fucking do it, not friggin' QAnon Team Marshall Alex Jones, who's doing 450s at 50 years old or whatever the hell age he is. I don't know. It's interesting. Final thoughts, Chris?
Well, I was just going to add this to it. Go back to Adam Cole. So, I was saying, like, him on his own, who does this guy, now that you watch this, you see them in there with Okada and Switchblade, and even Adam Page, because Adam Page, one of the things about him is that he was there from the beginning, but he's a young guy. He's still a big dude. He looks like he belongs in there. If you put him somewhere you put Adam Cole somewhere else on the card, who does this guy legitimately look like he has a chance against? Miro?
No.
He's always fighting for the title. He's going to fight Jon Moxley.
The only way you can do it is just totally weasel with help from outside.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so then that gets old. He's going to beat, like, you look at a guy that's the same size. He's going to fight Danielson. Right. He's going to fight fucking Pac. I almost fucked it up. Pac. He's going to fight Malachi Black. Put him in there with Brody King. Like just like
Malachi
Pac.
Black. Pac.
What is, like, it's like, where does this guy fit in other than being a mouthpiece, or other than just going through, like, all right, we'll go to the two ultimate factions in wrestling history. We'll just default them as the Four Horsemen and NWO. Four Horsemen and NWO, right? Any guy in those factions on their own didn't need the other guys. They just did it as a heel thing to do, right? I mean, Christ, the NWO's leader was fucking quite possibly the most popular wrestler of all time that did no wrestling, right? It was fucking Hogan. Okay. And then the other two members in the beginning were the other two members were Hall and Nash, right? It was Razor Ramon, it was Diesel. Ted DiBiase was there, right? Look at these guys that were in there. All of them at one point or another in their career carried the shit on their own. Look at the Four Horsemen, right? Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, all these guys, Ric Flair, and whether it be Barry Windham or whether it be fucking, even when it was Luger, whoever was that fourth guy, it doesn't matter. They were all capable of doing things like two guys were capable of doing it as a tag team. The main dude fought for the title, but he looked legitimate enough to win it. He didn't win it legitimately because he's a heel, and that's what heels fucking do, right? They grab the tights when they go to pin you, unless they're a monster. That's what heels do. These guys, you look at these guys, and it's just like Adam Cole. It's just like, what's the difference? Like, what's the difference between you and every other fucking dude that gets squashed? What's the difference between him and the captain guy? They don't do anything different.
Like, you were the one that said this to me. You're like, when you right when I was getting into New Japan, you're like, the story is told in the ring, and that you said that's what I like about New Japan. And a card like this, someone like Adam Cole sticks out like a sore thumb because they practice none of that, and you can just see it pretty quickly in there.
Yeah, the wrestling is secondary. The story's told outside of the ring. He's gonna have to. I just don't. And look, he was better. He was really good in NXT. Number one, he got the mic time. He got the storytelling time. But number two, he didn't look like fucking some limp ass dude fucking showing up at a wrestling show and taking his shirt off. You know what I mean? He had to look good. You gotta fucking look good. You got fucking millions of dollars worth of equipment to use every day. You're gonna have to explain why you're not using it. I don't know, man. And the Master Chief thing. That's still the Master Chief things. I was making a point that when you look at the two, like if you look at the NWO or the Four Horsemen, every member of those could hold their own in a fight. They all looked like they could.
Fuck yeah.
Right? Even Buff Bagwell, get that deep. That dude was legit he was an up and comer before he went heel.
Right.
Right? I don't know. It's just.
Well, he's hurt, so hopefully it gets better. That's what. All right. Singles match for the interim AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi 18-20 via pinfall. Random thoughts.
Yeah, positives. Talk about pacings. You know, they start off elbow, collar, tie up, bring it back, slow it down. This is the fucking main event. These are two professionals. Tanahashi can work with anybody. I'm again just blinking my eyes an extra time, being like, I can't believe that I'm fucking watching this. It reminded me a lot of the mid-card Wrestle Kingdom U.S. wrestler versus great New Japan wrestler matches that we get. Not mind-blowing as a main event of a pay-per-view. Tons of fun. Moxley bleeding all over the place. Tanahashi almost got finished a couple times. I think Aubrey Edwards held off on one. She didn't want to fuck up the main event because he was a little late on one of those 3 counts. Enjoyed it. You know, happy to see it. I wouldn't say that this like blew me out of the water though as a main event, but fucking awesome. Yeah, rewind 3 months and we're saying there's no way we see Tanahashi in AEW anytime soon.
Right,
we're already there. So tons of fun. Don't want to say a bad word about it. I think that there will be more to come. Not like a mind-blowing main event of a pay-per-view.
Chris,
yeah, I would agree with you on the fact that maybe it wasn't mind-blowing. I did enjoy it. I mean, it was definitely a good match. I was very happy with it. It wasn't a barn burner, but, you know, it told a good story. I think that the story would have been told a little bit better had CM Punk not been injured. I think CM Punk is a better storyteller through actions in the ring than Mox. Mox is, you know, he's a wild man.
Let's take that aspect of it and just take that out of it, because
okay.
This whole pay-per-view was built around Tanahashi versus CM Punk.
Yes,
and I think these guys did a great job considering that Jon Moxley is not a step down from CM Punk. Jon Moxley is almost as big a star as CM Punk is in AEW, but that is not the match we wanted. When this show was set up, the match we wanted was CM Punk versus Tanahashi. I think these guys did a great job considering everything that went on with this pay-per-view, injuries, all this other stupid shit that was going on. I think they all did a great job. You know what I mean? Good.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I think the only it wasn't a comparison as far as you know, I guess I was just saying that, like, you know, Mox, what you get out of the Mox match, which is just brutality, which is great, and what you get out of CM Punk match, which is like, you know, drama, more drama, more nuance. But yeah, I mean, we didn't get it, and we were excited for it, and it kind of took the air out of. I don't think whatever they would have done at this point would have made up for the fact that the air got taken out of Tanahashi versus CM Punk, and you're 100% correct. But this was excellent. The pay-per-view, like you said, tons of injuries, guys not being able to show, guys not being able to work. They did a fucking great job of what they had. And what they had was pretty fucking good. I mean, and here was the thing, like we talked about this before. Clark Connors had to go into the the Atlantic Championship. Well, did you really think Tomohiro Ishii was winning that belt anyway?
No.
So just do your job, you'll be fine. You know, you're not. He would have been part of the match in the same capacity, just in a different way, right? He would have sold some shit and then rolled outside the ring.
Yeah, that's interesting you bring that up, because I meant to mention that during when we were talking about it. So I'm going to go back a little bit. That match. So Malachi Black and Pac get into their whole thing, and they roll outside the ring, and it was amazing. Sorry about that, guys. It was amazing to see. So you got Clark Connors versus Miro. The way they just adjusted the story, where if it was Miro versus Ishii, the two of them would start slapping into each other like two fucking meatheads, beating the shit out of each other. And instead, you switch the story a little bit, and it was Clark Connors going against this giant Miro. But you could tell it was the exact same match. They just tweaked that little bit. You know what I mean? Like, just to make it like, well, we got an underdog now. We don't have Ishii anymore, so we're just going to work that into it. Very interesting. I meant to bring that up, but go ahead, continue about the main event.
No, I think I said everything I had to say. I mean, it was personally, like I said, I knew it wasn't going to happen. I thought it would have been fun to see Tana win, then go prance around Japan with the AEW title. That would have been cool because it would have built up heat for Wrestle Kingdom. But it's a long time away, so
yeah. And
it's not going to be. I'm not going to go off down this road too far, but the only downside to it anything else happening at Wrestle Kingdom, if it does, is that Wrestle Kingdom's 12 days and spread over 6 months. So, it kind of loses its luster.
Any before I move on to after the post match, Brandon, any final thoughts on this?
No, yeah, I think you guys nailed it. Pay-per-view was a mess coming into it and well executed.
So post match, Tanahashi loses. And then everybody runs in the ring. They start beating each other up. They start beating up Tanahashi. Tanahashi lays like a log at the edge of the fucking ring. Well, AEW decides, we've got Tanahashi and Moxley in a epic match. Let's push forward this story for Wednesday night's show. This was so fucking stupid. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, at this point, like I don't know that I really even thought about it at that time, because I was like, damn, like that was crazy that I got to see all of that shit. And I'm just so used to AEW being AEW that I'm just like, yeah, here's some bullshit. I probably got up, refilled my drink. Now that you mention it, it's just a classic, like just cheap is all that it is. Just Daniel Garcia did not need to be in the ring with Tanahashi for any point of a pay-per-view.
Dude, Tanahashi was laying face down on the edge of the ring apron, and no one is paying attention to him. Just stuff going on, and he's just like a corpse on the edge of the fucking ring. One of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, and that's what you're like, you know what? Let's do a Wednesday night angle on the background. It was so WCW in the bad way. We've talked about WCW in a good way. This was WCW in a bad way. I fucking hated it. I hated the ending of the show. I legit hated it. It was such a great show, and then that. And I'm just like, come on, man. Couldn't you just stretch it over to fucking Being the Elite or something I don't watch? Not the thing I actually paid $50 for.
Why you do that, man?
Chris, thoughts?
Cut it. Cut the pay-per-view. That happens afterwards. Show it on YouTube.
Easy.
What the fuck? Like, why? And you 100%. I've said this before. When we were kids, we used to watch UWF. Right? And what they would do is they would do you knew they did their television tapings. They did it probably over 3 hours. And then they would have like a run-in at the end of the show. Now at home, you thought, oh my God, this happened. I'm going to wait a whole nother week to see what happens. And here, obviously they just keep recording. But it was a cliffhanger, right? Oh my God. Jim Ross was like, oh my God, what happened here?
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. And it made you want to watch next week's show. If you rented that pay-per-view, you're watching fucking Dynamite.
Right.
You don't have to sell Dynamite. Why are we using pay-per-views to sell TV shows? And it just ended.
People watching it on New Japan World in Japan,
yeah,
are getting a commented version on New Japan World at a later date. Unless they do it on Fight TV, I don't think it's in Japanese.
I don't know. Wasn't Milano AT calling the match?
Yeah, but he wasn't in the house. He was
no.
So it was on New Japan World, but only in Japan, the pay-per-view.
Right.
And they do Dynamite on New Japan World, but it's a couple weeks behind.
Ah, okay.
They're not lined. They don't have Shingo Takagi sitting there and going, live commentary. They do it. Yeah, they watch it. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I hated the ending of this.
So did I.
I hated it.
I will tell you one thing. So, okay, this is what didn't make sense. And then something was kind of odd, and then it made perfect sense after I did some research. So Jericho's boys run down. They start beating up Mox. The Blackpool Combat Club runs down to defend them, along with Santana and Ortiz and Eddie Kingston. Okay. First of all, why does Cesaro come down later? He's a member of the Blackpool Combat Club. Why isn't he down with the rest of them? Oh, you guys go. I'm going to go down in a second because I want to get... Well, and then that was the thing. So he came down later, and then Eddie Kingston was screaming at him. And I'm like, what the hell's going on with Eddie Kingston? Now, I did some research. Apparently, it's from Chikara. They hate one another.
It is. They hate each other for years.
This ongoing Eddie Kingston can't get along with anybody shit.
Which I love.
It's so great because it's like, you remember when, Danielson was giving him shit and CM Punk was giving him shit and all these guys, Samoa Joe apparently used to give him shit. So there's going to be a problem with them at some point. And it's like, oh, wait, this guy that everybody loves is a fucking asshole that can't get along with anyone.
Well,
it's so great.
There's also the theory that it's Daniel Bryan is such a fucking dick that he only recruited Cesaro to piss off Eddie Kingston. So there's that angle as well. So
not Cesaro,
like storyline.
Claudio.
Oh, sorry, Claudio. So there's also that
Calzone.
Yeah, Cesaro, Batman, Calzone, Caxton, Nioli. So there's also that. So you have built-in stories for these guys, which is kind of fun. But yeah, we were watching it live and it was like, Jesus fucking Christ, why is he screaming at him? And then I found out it was, Chikara shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Great pay-per-view. Bad ending.
But even if you didn't know, even if you couldn't find out that it was Chikara shit, it was par for the course, right? Eddie Kingston, your boys come down to somebody comes down to save everybody's ass with you. And then after it's all done, you got a problem with him.
Yeah, I don't like you either. I don't like you even though you punched that guy for me.
I wanted to punch him. You let me punch him. So
love it. Brandon,
it also plays very well at the surface level. With
whoa, Jesus, what's going on with your mic?
I don't know. Do I not sound?
You're good. You're good. You're good now.
You get a little crackly. Good.
It also. That's all I had to say. It plays very well at a surface level with like the Yankees shit too. He always says all this New York Yankees. He's wearing Joe DiMaggio shit, and it's like that's very 2022 Yankees guy of just being like, no, listen, buddy, you don't know anything about New York. I'm better than you guys. Meanwhile, nobody cares. They're always fucking losing.
2022, so it's like. Yeah, stuck on you. You just make fun of him, and just be like, "Yeah, you're only stuck on 23 championships."
Hey, most of them happened in the first half of the World War II. Barely happened when they got 20 of them.
All right. So let's real quick. We'll talk about coming up for next week. Now, this is always fun when I forget to open it. Then I have to find it. There we go. All Elite News now. Let's go with sport now. There we go. No, that's wrong. All right. How about this? We'll just go. So we got the Dynamite card tomorrow. There we go. Boom. Got it. Blood and Guts, the show. All right, John Cena ad. Okay. So we get the Blood and Guts match, which is Jericho Appreciation Society versus the Blackpool Combat Club. And we also hear from Christian Cage. Now let's talk about this. The Christian Cage comes out last week, and he does a promo that I am still going to stand by this and say it is one of the best promos I've ever heard in my fucking entire life. Way better than anything MJF did. So he comes out and he says, basically, I was teaching you a lesson. I think he said that. You wanted me to be your father, but you had a father, and he's dead. He said some fucking wild ass shit. But most importantly, he kept it within the storyline, and you had fucking Jurassic, what's his name? Dinosaur wrestler guy comes out, and they hug, and they're all friends, and they kept it within storyline, and I really, really enjoyed this. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I hate to even compare it to MJF because a lot of my MJF shit is just like, well, what is he really doing that's that great? But yeah, I mean, so much fun. It's like you're starting to see time plus depth of roster add up here, and people that you sort of forgot about, like Christian's able to just create a separate storyline right before pay-per-view, unrelated to the pay-per-view. That is fantastic. And just Christian, on his own, when's the last time you saw him unleashed like that? Even I wasn't watching a lot of late career WWE Christian, so maybe I'm wrong, but the Christian I remember wasn't that good. So I was happy to see him finally, after all these years of practice and thinking about it, he had his podcast fucking let off something enormous here. Very funny. Yeah, I'm assuming he cleared that shit with Jungle Boy because
Absolutely.
Because he just had some notes there.
Did we talk about it last week where he was cursing at his mom?
He was dancing on his head for a little while. I did not see that video.
So he's cursed 2 weeks ago. He was cursing at his mother. His mother, Jungle Boy's mother, was in the stand. He was saying, "He's a piece of garbage. He's a piece of garbage. You're a piece of garbage for raising that piece of garbage. You're all pieces of garbage." The reason why I like this Christian Cage promo is because it's a pro wrestling promo, but it doesn't sound like one. Like he's got the cadence of a pro wrestling promo, but at the same time, it's very realistic. Like he's speaking to people like it's realistic. I fucking love it. Chris, thoughts?
I believe he said to his mother, "You raised a piece of shit." I don't think he said he raised a piece of garbage. You raised a piece of shit. And even the mother, got to give her credit. She looked like she was really mad. She was really upset with him. I mean, this is a pro being a pro. There's really not much more to say about it. You guys covered it.
Very excited for it. I'm more excited for more Christian Cage than I am for Blood and Guts. Are you guys stoked for Blood and Guts, Brandon?
Are we going to cover it? Are we going to go over what's happening, or because I don't really fucking know?
Jericho Appreciation Society versus Blackpool Combat Club. I mean, that's it, right? They're real mad at each other.
Jericho is going to throw Cesaro into a bunch of cardboard boxes. And then a wrestler from WWE is going to be like, "Whoa, I could see those cardboard boxes." And then Jericho is going to be like, "Well, you'll never work here." That's how this is going to go down.
So we're getting, hold on, who's in the ring? So I don't even know who's in fucking Jericho Accomplishment Club.
It's Jericho, Sammy Guevara, the Blockhead, Angelo,
the two dudes,
Swing,
and Garcia,
and Garcia versus
Mox. Not Danielson.
Cesaro,
Wheeler Yuts, and then Proud and Powerful,
and Eddie Kingston.
Hmm? Real? Okay, yeah.
And Jake Hager.
Big Hags. I was trying to figure it out because one side had more people.
It's War Games, just called something different.
Yes, and the bad guys won, so therefore a bad guy will come in first. So it'll be Jake Hager right? I guess I don't. That goes in first. I don't fucking know how this works.
So
I hate this shit. I think it's
It's
so
going to be
stupid.
crazy
gimmick
eyes.
matches.
Angelo.
They're gimmick matches that are just like there's too much of them.
I can't stand them.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Babyface and a heel will go in, and then a timer will go off, and then a heel will come in.
So it'll be 2-on-1 for a while.
2-on-1 for 2 minutes, and then a babyface until you get, and the match doesn't start until you get everybody in there.
Okay, so I know what it's going to be. So it's going to be 2 bad guys versus Eddie Kingston for a while.
Probably. It's
Right,
probably gonna be like, they're probably going to go to send somebody in the ring. No, I'm going first. I don't need your help. And he's going to be the one that loses. I hope. That's the only way that this works for me. Is if that no matter what happens, Eddie Kingston takes the pin, and they all blame him.
We do love Eddie Kingston, listeners. We do love him.
Oh, listen. Yeah, but I mean, this is the way it works, right? This isn't like I
set
want
up.
to see him lose. I want to see the Eddie Kingston story of shitty behavior and toxicity and just being a dick and just like, not being able to control his emotions. I want this to just keep getting told and told and told, because this is probably right now subtly one of the best stories being told in wrestling right now is fucking Eddie Kingston's behavior, because it's super realistic.
Absolutely. He tried to burn fucking Jericho alive with a fucking gasoline. One of the greatest fucking moments.
What appears like gasoline.
No,
It
that
appeared.
was gasoline.
It just appeared like. Well, according to Jim Ross, that was his. I think that was his like.
What you
kids
got
don't
there?
try this at home.
What's you got in there?
Hey, Eddie Kingston, what you got in there? Bill Watts wouldn't
What
let
is
you
he
have.
stutter now?
I don't know, because I couldn't.
You've added on to it.
I was. Well,
He's got Bell's palsy and a fucking stutter.
I mean, Eddie, what you got in there? You got. It looks like it's nut cutting time over here.
Brandon, final thoughts on this?
See, when I worked for Bill Watts, he would just
Oh my
tell
God.
me like,
Brandon, final thoughts on this?
Did you see? Yeah, I did like that they had to wheel JR out for one match. It's like for some unknown reason. You're like, how about Will Ospreay? Could you handle that one during the pay-per-view?
can I
Thank God they
can I add something to this? 'Cause
you certainly can, Chris. Please
it
do.
disgusted me, because I'm not sure if I'm right. I may be wrong. But when he came walking out, I could have sworn he was wearing fucking sweatpants. And if he was wearing fucking sweatpants,
Maybe he's working out.
fuck you. Pants. Like an
He's got the
adult.
tread.
Pants. Not
He's hitting
fucking
the tread.
sweatpants. You wear fucking pants with the
He was
fuck.
treading it up, man. I've been there. Elliptical.
And it's zipper.
JR's joggers. He's gonna start selling them.
Jared Joggers is smelling barbecue sauce.
They got a pack of barbecue and they got a little extra pocket for your
He
barbecue.
did put over
Little
he did put over
zipper on the
barbecue
side.
sauce. I've had enough of this. All right, so next week we got AEW Dynamite. We also have a Stardom show, which is going to go up soon. The pay-per-view we have to wait for. Lots of cage matches. One of the cage matches is fucking insane, apparently. But the following show, which was at Corrigan Hall, which told more story, is already up. So if you want to cheat and watch. Also, if you guys are interested in listeners, if you're interested in Stardom and you don't feel like paying the $10 to you can just subscribe to their YouTube channel. They do a We Are Stardom show. It's a couple of weeks behind, but they always have everything. But there we go. And let's get out of here. Any final thoughts? Brandon, final thoughts.
Yes, I do have one thing. I
Go for it.
sat there Saturday night and tapped the add ticket button 4,000 times for Ric Flair's last match to make sure if I could buy 4,000 tickets. And then I went through the checkout process to confirm that I could. I hope that is the emptiest fucking place in the world. Corny ass Conrad tries to act like he's like above it all, doing his historic wrestling podcast with everybody under the sun. Now all of a sudden he's promoting the biggest piece of shit's last match. Doubled down, quadrupled down, moved it to a 10,000 seat venue. All of the seats are available minus the 1,500 he originally sold. Fingers crossed that this thing nukes. Conrad goes bankrupt.
I hope so.
Wait, why do we want the man to go broke?
Why not?
Because it's loser. Because it's loser shit to be like.
It is
He
loser
acts
shit.
like he's like a he's a very like non-opinion guy. He just lets other people say what's happening. He's just here to help them tell their stories until he finally gets the chance to be a promoter. And he immediately takes it up for one of the sloppiest events of all time. I'm sure we can tell whatever
we
the hell
need.
Ric Flair's last matches. Then he's jumping all over it. And then he sells out his 1,000 tickets or whatever that he couldn't just take his money. And then he goes, wait, we need to move this from 1,000-seat venue to a 10,000-seat venue.
Multiple.
Let me ask you. Hold on.
I hope he gets greedy and just nukes it.
Do you think that he's the one being greedy, or you think Ric Flair fucking smoothed his way into getting that? We're gonna make more money.
So
Ric Flair's the long time fucking sleazeball. I mean, Conrad's a fucking real estate agent, so.
So hold on though, like
Morgan.
like
No, he's a mortgager. Go ahead, Chris.
So he's a mortgage guy. The guy is look, nobody knows his backstory. I don't know his fucking backstory, but he's a mortgage guy. Who knows where he comes from? He's come from money. Who knows? But he is very successful. A lot of it on his own hard work, from what I can gather. So I could probably see. But he's also a bit of a sycophant. So I could probably see Ric Flair pushing him into, I can sell 10,000 tickets.
Come on, Conrad. Just give me like another $100,000, Conrad. $100,000.
And this is the worst part about it, though. This is, you want to get into fucking sleazeballism. If that's the case, the dude's his fucking son-in-law.
Who?
Conrad is Ric Flair's son-in-law.
Wait, what?
Conrad Thompson is married to Ric Flair's other daughter.
What?
Yes, he's been married to her for like 2 years now.
The dead one?
No, that's his son.
What's the name of that one?
I don't know.
Flair.
Reed Flair. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember when Reed died.
So it's like, he's like, oh, I can get my thrill. I can give him he's like, he saw the daughter marry the guy who has a lot of money,
the obese guy,
the obese and not trying to lose weight. Fuck you.
Okay, he's a big man.
He is fucking insanely big.
Rick's like, you better marry him. He's got a big bankroll, and I can get him.
Take it all.
I can get him. He can rejuvenate my career at 80 years old.
I watched some of the press conference for that.
Okay.
I sent you a message.
Brandon, any final thoughts on my points real quick before we get to the press conference?
My only final thought is like, because Chris asked the question, if you buy tickets to see something and you go, oh, cool, there's only 1,500 seats here. I would be interested in seeing X event at 1,500 seats. There's not a bad seat in there. And then the asshole that's running the event or the band or performer themselves goes, actually, now your seat is in the lower bowl of a 10,000 seat arena. You immediately just go, oh, fuck you. I wouldn't have bought that ticket in the first place. Too late. You already gave them their money. It's just scum shit.
It is.
Scumbag shit. It's corny shit.
A front row seat is now, you're probably blocked because you're in that weird lower section of the bowl where you can't quite see over people.
Or to Brandon's point, you bought these tickets, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're going to expand it and go to a bigger stadium. Yay for everybody. Guess what? The tickets you paid for are now behind tickets that are now twice as much that you paid for.
Right.
Now you're not ringside.
Oops,
and
got
also, yeah. Fucking scumbag shit.
Well, I think that this is going to be a complete and total fucking disaster.
I hope.
I mean, honestly, I do too. I was just curious, like, as to
the
what
only
what
way
your thought process was.
The only way that this match will be a success if I see the Grim Reaper as his opponent and he kills him. I'm not talking about evil with his Sith. I'm talking about the legit Grim Reaper. He comes in the ring and Ric Flair's going, oh no. Someone going, no, oh no. He flips over. He does the flop over. He walks, he falls. And then the Grim Reaper just touches him and he's dead. He turns to dust. Or he tries to do it with the squash pancake and dies. Then everybody in the crowd will be like, he was such a great man. He was a great man. And we all know
that would make him the greatest pro wrestler of all time, though, if that happened, if he just lets somebody kill him.
I finally did another 60 minutes. Another 60 minutes.
And then the other part about it is what's the rest? What else are you getting? They haven't announced a card.
Andrade versus Jay Lethal. That's what you're getting.
Who the fuck?
That's
I mean,
the
like,
co-main
seriously, let's be
event.
honest.
Andrade versus Jay Lethal.
Yo, who the fuck wants to see Jay Lethal do anything? I mean, really, who gives a fuck about that dude?
Lethal injection.
And the other thing, like what you said, like with Conrad, is that Conrad is also he's a big Meltzer fan.
The money mark, dude.
And it's just like, dude, what the?
It's the classic money mark.
He's like the wrestling politics guy.
Also,
Like
a dude that
Halligan.
should never be doing a video-based podcast. Sorry.
He's a good-looking dude. Brandon, what do you mean? Good.
He's like politicked his way up the food chain of pro wrestling to now he's in this spot where he's like somehow promoting Ric Flair's last match and married to his daughter. And like, why is it this guy? What is he good at? He just smoozes his way through the
Money.
crowd.
He's good at making money. That's for sure.
Oh, wow.
These
I think
carnies
this is
love
going to
it.
be the big grand finale and the fireworks going to go.
So if
Oh my
I could be
God. I hope
100%.
it's Ric Flair versus Conrad. And Conrad's like, you son of a bitch, you ripped me off for all this money. And he just fucking haystacks Calhoun's him and just keeps splashing him and shit.
He's just going to be sweating through his Men's Warehouse suit, looking at all those empty seats on his iPhone calculator, just being like, "Oh no, we're down 1,800."
I made a terrible mistake.
Um,
Made a terrible mistake.
I'm just curious. If I'm not mistaken, he started doing the podcasts because he paid Bruce Pritchard to come to his house and watch WrestleMania with him and his friends.
God, is that for real?
I think so.
I hate his guts.
Are you checking your phone to see
I
if
am.
it's true?
I'm checking it. He's told the story, so it would be there.
I paid him. How much did he pay him? Pritchard. Does Pritchard still have a podcast even though he works for fucking WWE?
There's like no other fucking industry in the world where for like $1,000 you can just pay fucking Albert Pujols to go watch the World
you
Series
imagine?
with you, and then now you're doing a podcast with him.
You're like Albert Pujols. Come watch the what the fuck the one
World
World
Series.
Series. The one World Series. Right? Oh my God! Could you imagine?
The distance between the bottom and the top is like very finite.
I can think of a couple people that would do that. Be like, hey, Mike Richards of the Philadelphia Flyers. I know you've been down on your luck with the
Yeah, exactly.
opiates and all. Come on over. I just want to watch the shift with you. I'll give you $1,000.
Hey, Jeff Carter, we rented a beach house. We're just gonna do a little pod. Do you mind?
Oh my God. Chris, you were going to say something before.
I don't care anymore.
the press conference. Let's get through the press conference. Go ahead.
No, I really don't have much to say. He's just kind of fucking embarrassing. You know, I mean, he's
The
go
Ric
back
Flair
to what you
press
said.
conference.
Yeah, Ric Flair. They had a press conference, a live streamed press conference about the match. Gave you no information on the fucking match, and he also, the funny thing is he's also conning Jarrett out of his money too.
No way.
Because Jarrett's
Jarrett
involved
will
in this.
never be conned out of his money. Someone's
Jarrett.
paying for this
Somebody's paying for it.
because Jarrett ain't paying for shit.
Yeah. I wonder who they got to pay for it.
Conrad.
Thompson.
I
They
think it's
probably
Big
both
Connie.
Conrad. It's probably the two of them are probably like fucking. They saw that fat fucking whale and we're just like, yeah, because all these guys are making so much money off these fucking podcasts, and they were just like, all right, milk 'em.
He's like, yeah, I could take a second mortgage out on this house. I'll just process it through my own business. Sure, no problem.
There you
It'll
go.
all
It's
come
like
back to me.
It's like when fucking the Scatino
Yes.
bust out on Sopranos when they were just buying shit at the sporting goods store.
Oh, dude, I just
Selling
watched
on
that.
the
Series.
corners,
Just
selling
watched
on
that
the
series.
corners.
I just watched that season 2.
Yeah. Terminator
And-
gets his T927 gets his fucking sporting goods
Liquid
store.
metal. Liquid
Metal.
metal gets liquidated
It's liquidated
when he's
It's just
sleeping
milk 'em.
in the fucking tent
in the
middle of the
fucking
sporting goods
house.
store.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here, dude? I fucking love that show.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody made a comment that it wasn't good. I was like, well, you're an idiot. So
Yeah. That
Yeah.
show's fucking amazing.
That it wasn't
Brandon.
good.
It wasn't good. Brandon, thoughts on the Sopranos?
Yeah, one of the best shows ever. It's I tried to rewatch The Wire. It feels a little dated. Oz feels a little dated. Put Sopranos on,
Sopranos
just right
is-
through it.
Yes, I think it was filmed in HD. I think it helps.
It does.
Where
I'm also
it hasn't aged visually. It hasn't aged.
Yeah, because those early seasons of The Wire are rough.
They're rough.
They're scraggly.
Yeah, Brandon.
I was just gonna say I'm just fantasizing. Ric Flair's last match, ex-wrestler comes out and just hits him with one of those Elon Musk flamethrowers and just incinerates him for like 15 straight seconds.
He's just
I think
spinning
that's
around in a circle like,
Yeah.
woo, 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 woo. Vince will take
I
me
think
back.
you need to-
Vince will
you
take
set
me
him up,
back.
please.
Every time he slaps his bicep, it burns hotter. Burns like a zombie in Minecraft.
until it's just like a truly crisp black shrunken corpse just laying there. Like, all right, everybody, the fire
And he goes
department
down,
just comes in.
he's like, he lays there and just goes, his mouth just goes, his jaw goes, and you hear real quiet, you hear, woo.
I was hoping he would go. I hear.
What?
Core shield. Did I fail at that? Oh well.
No, that was good.
Right.
That was-
All right. Hey, final thoughts. Let's get out of here.
Fuck
2
Ric
hours
Flair.
ago.
I hate all these motherfuckers. Oh, man. You know, it's a shame too because I listened to Eric Bischoff's podcast, and you know,
You love that shit, right?
I just like the nuts and bolts of television.
Right.
It's
Don't you think
that's
it's
what
a
I.
little dated though. It's a long time ago.
What's that? What do you mean?
His knowledge of television was from a long time ago.
Well, he still
Nobody really
produces.
watches
He still
TV.
produces TV now.
What's he doing now?
He works with Jason Hervey, the kid from the Wonder Years. They're television producers. I don't
What
know
do
if he's
they
done
do?
anything that recent, but he's still. I mean, I don't know
Game
that
of
he's done anything
Thrones.
too recent. I think they produced Game of Thrones.
They're doing
Which
the
is a
House
lot
of
like that, too.
Targaryen show.
Yeah, no, actually, Jason Hervey is starring as the dragon. It's the older brother from the Wonder Years' head on the dragon's body.
That's insane. So we watched Clash of the Champions, 1988, and Jason Hervey was one of the judges
Mhm.
for Ric Flair versus Sting.
Mhm.
Do you think that they were in cahoots since then?
Yeah. So
They mentioned it.
I don't know how he met Jason Hervey.
It's got to be around that time.
Yeah, no, Bischoff was an announcer, I think, during that, because that could have been during Bill Watts.
It was Bill Watts.
Yeah, so Ric Flair, he was the C Squad announcer, Bischoff, but him and Jason Hervey go back like that long. I don't know how
That's
he
crazy.
knows Jason Hervey.
What if
But-
it all
and he-
ties together and they're still doing fucking weird shit together?
They're still. I don't know if
They
they're still
fucking-
producing television, but I mean, I like the nuts and bolts of. So yeah, because you have WWE, which is Vince, right? I mean,
Inks.
now it's different, but it's Vince, right? Back then it was Vince, and then you have WCW, which was Turner, and they were it's just a totally different, and he's completely open about everything because it's all a matter of public record. Right. So it's like, who the guys were and what positions, what they were making, how much was this is what we did. And it's just, I don't know. I find that that nuts and bolts kind of stuff very interesting. I always have.
Yeah.
Whether it be new stuff or old stuff, it doesn't matter. I just find it very interesting.
There you go.
So that's why we're thinking that Ric Flair's last match will be against Eric Bischoff on an animatronic dragon just comes down just
No,
tortures
Jason Hervey, the
5,000
older
Jason
degrees.
Hervey.
The
Game of
older
Thrones.
brother from
Game of Thrones
the older
Part
brother.
2.
Yeah, the older brother, Game of Wonder Years, and he comes down.
He's gonna be waiting for his opponent, and just he comes that fucking dragon flies through and
Fucking Winnie
8,000
shows
degrees.
up. She's casting magic.
So who? Wendy,
Winnie.
his wife, Winnie. Oh, yeah.
Did
so
you never watch The Wonder Years?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen episodes here and there.
Okay, Winnie was a big part of it.
Yeah, she was the girl
The
down the
love
street.
interest.
She looked like an owl.
Yeah,
She looked a
was
little bit
good-looking
like an owl. She was a
Very
good-looking owl.
attractive She looked
Yeah,
like an
she's like,
owl. And she
I was a fan.
a big fan. too.
That was Nick at
Yeah,
Night for me.
I went, oh yeah, right, huh? And you were like, every night you went to bed and you heard, what can we do? Let's hang out at home.
Wendy,
Pulls his pants
Wendy.
down. He's like, Winnie's coming up. Winnie's coming.
Can you stand up and walk out on me?
There you go.
Joe Cocker.
True story.
Got cock in his name. Brandon had cock in hand. Winnie.
Winnie and Cockadad. Not
All
terrible.
right, I think
All
it's
right,
a
I've had enough.
2 hour, 1 minute
I've had
mark.
enough of
We've
both
gone
of
off
you.
the rails.
All right, that's it. We totally lost it. All right, thanks for joining us this week. Enjoy us there every week at Wrestling is Hard. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Subscribe and follow. Tell your friends. Brandon, Chris, I am Jim, and we will be back here next week.